Hello everybody, I'm here for day 5 of the Art Journal Advent of 2025, and today's prompt is dance. And I had several things that kind of went through my head, but they all kind of narrowed down to shoes. And I found a photo on, well, it just went away. Hang on a minute. On Pinterest of ballet slippers. And so that's what I'm going to attempt to draw. I want just a regular pencil. This is a Kimberly pencil. I don't know, it works great, but I don't see a lot of difference in it in any other. This one happens to be a 6B. Okay, so I've got these slippers, and I looked at some that had feet, and I have drawn them before, but I really didn't want to do that today. So we've got kind of an oval shape for the inside of the shoe. I kind of went up a little bit. I should be drawing this later, but you won't be able to see it if I do. And it kind of comes out, and the ballet, when you do toe ballet, it's flat on this end. So it's going up and kind of this way. And then the other shoe is going, I have this photo behind me, so I'm kind of having to twist around. And you can actually see the toe where it's more of an oval shape. And I'm having to kind of turn around a bit to get a view of the shoe. Let's see if I can get it kind of proportioned right. So this matches this, so it's kind of, it actually kind of goes. I need an eraser, and of course that pencil doesn't have one. So let me see if I should be able to put my hand on an eraser somewhere. Okay, hang on a minute. I had a regular pencil, here I think I see one now. And this one's got an eraser. So I'm going to erase these two lines. It's not a very clean eraser, but the shoe probably, the paint will probably cover up a lot of that. So anyway, all right, so that's my two shoes. And then, of course, there are ribbons associated with these shoes. And this ribbon kind of comes up like this and goes around like this, and it goes up and kind of, you see a bit of it, both sides of it, and this one is kind of like that. And then there's a ribbon that goes around kind of like that. And it's got some funky ribbon here. This is going to go over this way and go behind the shoe. I hope you're able to see what I'm doing. And then there's another kind of, it's really kind of weird the way it looks, but the ribbon kind of curls around. And of course there should be another end to this ribbon. I think that's an end, but okay, so that's my ballet slippers. So let's, before we do anything else, I do have watercolor ground on this page. I want to take some gesso, and this gesso's kind of old, but I'm still going to use it. I just need a brush, but I don't mind having gesso on. And we're going to kind of clean up this shoe a bit. Okay. Now, photo, I've got it on my iPad, so it's disappearing on me on occasion. It's a black and white photo, but we're not going to do it black and white. We're going to, let me get this brush out of the way. I don't want to put it in my watercolor water. So let me do this. I'm going to take some of that water and pour it into this other container and put that brush in there so it doesn't get all hard. And then hopefully I won't knock that over. Okay, so I'm going to take a watercolor brush, and I've got my pink watercolor, which is the color that I'm going to use for these shoes, ballet slippers, and I'm looking for my Mr. Not a husband, I don't have one of those, not a Mr., but my water Mr. I used to have a Mr. years ago. We've been divorced for since 1993, I think. We're Facebook friends. When you have children, you kind of have to, there's a connection that you just, there's always some kind of connection. But we're friends on Facebook, and I send him gorillas in the wild, because he and I both have a love for gorillas, and we used to go to the Atlanta Zoo, and it was sad as it could be. They had Willie B was his name. I think he's since deceased, but it was so sad looking at him in that cage. It was in a cage. It was before they went with any natural habitation, but I send him things that are in the wild, and that's where they ought to be. They shouldn't be caged up somewhere. All right, so let's see. What am I going to do about that ribbon? I don't want to use exactly the same color. Well, maybe I'll just go a bit lighter with it. It's not lighter at all, but today's the start of the Care December, and I've got, I have my pages all together. I haven't put my journal together yet, and the theme for this year is green, and I have selected a green book and just I disassembled it, and but I haven't sewed my pages in, and sometime after this I will work on a page, my first page, and then I'll sew the book together later on today, or later on. I mean, it's a 15-day project, so. All right, so let's see. If I put some, I'll get a slightly smaller brush and find a darker color. Oh, I need a bigger brush for that. For doing the inside of the shoe. Well, you saw me spritz these watercolors, but they're not very wet. So I can give a little bit of depth to this ribbon by putting a darker color there, and you can see the watercolor puddling up. Like I said, this is just sketchbook paper, so it's not a high quality, definitely not a watercolor paper, but I did put the watercolor ground on there, but keep feeling myself putting my finger into the wet paint. All right, let's try this and see where we go. As soon as I find my heat tool. Oh, I think it's under papers. I was just thinking that I need to put some splatters on here. Let's get another shade. I was able to repair my book from last night where I did the day's page in the wrong place, but I got it put together, and then I've got, and I'll show it to you in just a minute. I've got something else I want to put on there that I intended to do, but when I realized what I had done, I forgot to put it on. I wanted to put a ribbon on the ornament. And I put I told you last night that I was going to do, I had ordered glass ornaments, and I put the coat, I did I prepped it with a white paint, and I painted it pink. I'm the first one I'm going to do it in pink. But I put a primer on it. And before that dries, let's do some light splatters and then some gold splatters, and some people in my apartment complex have pets. They have dogs and cats, and I hear a dog. I think it's outside, but I don't hear the dogs in my apartment, thank goodness. It would be annoying. But I do hear the band. There's a brewery right next door to where I live, and they have bands frequently. I don't think they're going to be having bands anytime soon because it's really cold. And but they close at 10, so it's never late. Usually the bands close up at a little after 9 or so they don't keep me awake. I'm not a beer drinker, so I have not frequented. I have not been over there yet. I keep thinking I'm going to go and ask them if they've got something that tastes like wine. I do like wine. I don't drink beer at all. I never have liked the taste of it. That top shoe looks funky. Let's see what I can do about it. Okay, looks a little better. And let me do the gold one before I complete the drying here. My phone ends up with splatters all over it. But well, except for the gold's not watercolor. And the white actually isn't either. It's more like a wash than it is a watercolor because it's opaque. I don't have my ink over here so that the top will pop off, so, but I do need to put the word dance on here, and I'm going to outline the shoes a bit more so that they are more visible, the shape of the shoe and the ribbon. Okay, let's see if pencil will do the trick. I just want to do a loose pencil, not straight lines. It's not what I'm after. Just sketchy lines. Okay, I think that looks pretty good. So let's see. I took my two hang on a minute, I gotta go in the other room and grab my pens, my dip pens. I washed them off after putting them in my paint water, so they're clean. And I left them on the counter, so let's see if we can manage to get dance without having to do a repair. It's a fairly short word, so okay, and then I'm going to do my little faux calligraphy. You double the downstroke. You just do your regular handwriting and then double the downstroke. And it's not just making it darker, it's actually doubling this size. That's not, this paper's not that great for this ink either. Okay, so I'm going to rinse that off, but I'm not going to leave it in there. Put the top back on this, and it did not pop off during this time. So let's dry that word, and then we'll be done. Now, here's I repaired it. I had to put tape on both sides to get it all, get it back together, but I repaired it, and I think it looks fine. No one would know that I didn't intend for there to be tape. So, what did I do with my ribbon? Here it is. And I'm gonna get my art glitter glue, and hopefully it will work. just want to glue it where the knot is. Put my pen back in there. And I think I told you, or maybe showed you, I got a stand from Amazon, and you put it in there so it stays upside down, so you don't have to wait for it to shake it and wait for it to come down. If you set it, with on the base of the bottle. That's kind of long. You're gonna cut it a little shorter. I'll throw my scissors. Okay, so there you have it. Today's page is dance. Yesterday's page was bits of shimmer. So thank you for joining me, and I do hope to see you again tomorrow. Have a blessed day.